Greetings to everyone. This is Amod Kumar Bagh. I welcome all of you to this video. In this video, I have kept the data types we are using in C programming. So, what is data types? Data type is defined as the data storage format that a variable can store a data to perform a specific operation. So, when we are defining some variable to store the information or data, that is to be defined by the data types. Then only we can know that variable which type of data it will hold. That's what we are using data types. There are 4 types of data types we have in C programming. I want to show you with diagram and we will discuss one by one. As I told you, 4 types of data types. Those are basic type, derived type, enumeration, last one is void. So basically these two are used very importantly in every C programming. In basic, again we have 4 types: int, float, double, and char. In derived, we have again 4 types: array, pointer, structure, and union. Enumeration and void, these are 2 separate data types. So how to define a data types, or how to declare a variable with data types? I want to give one example. Suppose int x. Here x is the variable. I have given the data type int, that is integer. So int is nothing but the data type we used for integer. Float is the data type we used for floating point. Double is used for double value, that is same as floating, but it gives more accurate result. And char data type is used to define character. Excuse me. So I want to show this int, float, double, and char data type. Here we will see for integer. What is integer type? Integers are used to store whole numbers. Int, I told you already, int is the data type we are using for integer type. Int is used for integer data type. Size of int is 2 byte. The size of int is 2 byte. I already gave one example, int x. Here x is the variable which can store the data of 2 bytes. Why means this is of integer type data type. Now one more thing, integer data type can hold two types of value, that may be signed value or unsigned value. What is signed value? That may be both negative value or positive value. For example, minus 23, or that may be plus 23. Unsigned means it will hold only positive value. Then what is float data type? Float data type is the data type which is used to assign for floating point value. What is floating point value? For example, 2.3. This is floating point value. Floating point data types allows user to type a decimal value. Example, for floating point we have to use float data type float float x. Suppose I have defined float x. So here x is a variable of floating point data type which can hold the value up to 4 bytes. That means it can keep the data up to 4 bytes because the memory size of float data type is 4 bytes. Now double data type. Double is 8 byte, which means we can have more precision than float. Precision is nothing but accurate. So double. See, I have written an example here. Suppose I have defined x as a variable of double data type. Here again x is a variable of float data type. See, x is equal to 379999.37, and for float again x is equal to 379999.37. So what will be the output when you will calculate during any program by using this same value with same variable, but the data types are double and float. See, for double the value of x is equal to the exact value will get the output 379999.37, but for float x is equal to 38. That is the very nearest number, the rounded of this one will be 38. It will show like this. So what is the difference between float and double? Float will give the nearest value, but double will give the very exact value. That's what the difference between float and double. So char is the data type which is used for character types. Now char consists of a single byte. So what is the size of char data type? 1 byte. I'll give one example here. See, char x is equal to a. So you can see here, this is a capital A within single cut. Remember one thing, any character can be written within single cut, but any word or string can be written in double cut. So for one character we have defined like this. That means x is a variable of character type which can store a. Again here see, char x 10 equal to, suppose I have written one string or word nice which is of 10 character. Why this is string? See, this is inside the double quotation mark. So though it is 4 character, we cannot simply write char x is equal to nice. We have to define an array for this. What is array? I will tell you next. This is nothing but x10 means it will create the memory location up to 10 spaces of place to store the character. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So we have nice 0 1 2. The indexing will be starting from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 0 to 9 it will be 10. See, I have defined like this, char x of 10 equal to nice. So NICE. So within 10 place we can have this word. That's what we are using character data type. Now I'll tell you the derived data types. In diagram we show array, pointers, struct and union are the derived data types. What is array? Array in C stores multiple values of the same data types. I have already given the example. This one. So we can have an array of integers, float, char, double, etc. Array need to be either initialized or the size needs to be specified during declaration. That means, see, if I have given int x of 5 equal to something, that means x is an array. This is array name. X is the array, or we can say the memory name, which can store up to 5 data. Here I have defined int means it will store 5 data of integer type. See here, x is the array variable name, 5 is the array size. See, 1 2 3 4 5, this is the array size of this array, and int is the data type. Here I have defined integer type of data types. So array may be one dimensional, two dimensional or multi-dimensional. Multi-dimensional means more than 2, 3 dimensional, 4 dimensional, 5 dimensional, like this. So here this is one dimensional. In two dimensional, what we will see, we have two things, like if I have defined int x of 2 y of memory size 3 suppose, then it will create a row of x is the row, y is the column it will create. So the size of the row is 2, the column size will be 3. Now what is pointer? A pointer is just a variable that stores the address of another variable. A pointer can store the address of variable of any data types. So we can use any data types to write a pointer. This allows for dynamic memory allocation in C programming. That means during execution of the program, when the memory will be allocated, that time we are using pointer. See, I have just given one example. Int star ptr. So star ptr is nothing but the pointer variable. Pointer variable is known by this symbol, this star symbol. So int star pointer is the pointer variable I have defined. Suppose ptr equal to address of y. In the definition we saw, a pointer variable can store the address of another variable. So here ptr is the pointer variable which will store the address of y. So that's what pointer is. And yeah, one more thing, the size of the pointer is always 2 bytes. Now struct. This is another derived data type. So what is struct? Struct is a composite structure that can contain variables of different data types. It is used to combine the data type in group. For example, whenever we write a program for the student biodata, for that we are writing the student name, student branch, student ID, student roll number, student marks, and etc. But for name we are writing character, for branch we are writing character, for ID, roll number, marks we are writing integer. But in struct we can combine all these different data types into one group. That's what we're using struct data type. What is union? So union is also the part of derived data type. So what is union? We'll see. Union is the user defined data types which is used to store different data types in the memory location. One more point. Union can have many members, but only one member can have a value at one time. So this is a special kind of data types in C. Next, enumeration. Enumeration data types enhance the readability of the code. We can use enums to define the constant. So enumeration data types, the short form we are using enums. So enums is used to define the constant. Now void. Void is the default data type in C programming. What is default? Actually, whenever we are defining any variable, we have to define with its data types, that which kind of data we are going to store. But if we will not define any data type, then the default data type will be void. So it is just an empty data type used as a return type for functions. Absence of any other data type is void. So memory for void data type is 0 byte. C. For integer data type we used to define int x something. So x is the variable of int type data type. If we will define simply x, so by default the computer compiler will take this is a void. That means this is a variable but it has no memory location, simply 0. So this is all about the data types in C programming. In next video we will see the flowchart and algorithm in C programming with some examples. Thank you.